second lunar event of this month is having impact on the major hurricane that came ashore in Florida. Weather Authority meteorologist Violet Skyber tells us more.
How is the storm surge affected by the supermoon? Well, first let's explain what a supermoon is. And yes, we will see one heading into tonight. As the moon travels around the Earth, it takes an elliptical path, not a perfect sphere. But as it takes this path, there are certain points where the moon is closer to the Earth called the perigee. And when we get a full moon at the same time as the perigee point, that's called a supermoon. And high tides are higher and low tides are lower when this occurs. So let's talk about how this affects a storm surge, such as with Hurricane Idalia as it made landfall this morning. With a normal sea level and onshore winds, this blows ocean water inland. But let's say that this sea level is not normal. When we have a high tide and also a supermoon, those together are called a king tide. It can make the water level about a foot higher. And that can lead to extra water going inland with the storm surge. But Idalia luckily made landfall at low tide, and the peak storm surge was about 8 to 10 feet. But it could have been higher if it was at high tide. Luckily, we had a good situation with the landfall of this. It was right around the same time as low tide. Idalia made landfall at 7:45. Low tide was this morning at 7:50. The bad news, though, is high tide was 1:45 p.m. this afternoon. Idalia is exiting, but the floodwaters are sticking around because of that high tide. Eventually, low tide arrives this evening, and the water should begin retreating. And also, we should be seeing a better situation down in Florida. And also, with the supermoon on the way tonight, our meteorologists will have a look at viewing conditions for that. Make sure to stay tuned. Reporting on the weather deck, I'm meteorologist Violet Skyber. Back to you.